this is Chris Kell with the last nutrition video in our Model Fit series, our Advanced Model Fit Diet. Okay, and the way this works, again, and this is geared towards fat loss, our goal is to deplete carbohydrates for 14 days, followed by a refeed day. Okay, meaning that for the first 14 days, we're eating basically vegetables and protein. Okay, no fruits, no starchy carbs. That's what we're looking at. From there, the goal is to avoid alcohol consumption throughout the week. Take time to plan out your meals. I can't emphasize this enough. Follow a template, follow the approach that we go through. And then I'm also going to show you a pre-made plan that we created at fitclick.com. This is more of a principle-based diet, meaning we're not telling you exactly what to eat. I kind of leave that open for you, but I have created that for you as well. So you have both options. So if we're looking at our dietary schedule, for the first 14 days, okay, we go low carb, followed by a refeed on the second weekend of the program. Okay, and that repeats throughout our 8 weeks in the program. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Specifically, if you're looking for macros, okay, because some people like to adjust their diet for macros, okay, that would be multiplying your body weight for our low carb days by 8 to 10, and then our macronutrient breakdown would be 15% carbs, 30% protein, 55% fat. Okay, so you're pretty high in the fat, actually, something that I didn't necessarily mention in the last two slides, but we're looking at higher fat sources, more oils, more avocados, really flax seeds, whatever it may be. The more fat that we can put into our diet that is good fat, the better. Okay, so protein is second, and then carbs are last. As far as what we eat, the only carbs we're going to have are vegetables. Protein, lean meat is what we're looking at, and then in some cases beans if you're not a consumer of animal proteins, and then fat, avocados, canola oils, flax seeds. There are a lot of different things. Egg yolks would be another good one, but you have the idea. As far as your refeed day goes, your total calories are going to be 16 to 18 times your body weight. That's the number of calories that you want to eat that day. As far as the macronutrient breakdown goes, 60% carbs, 30% protein, 10% fat. And again, this is completely flipped, all right? We want to tell our metabolism to stay up. So this is kind of giving our metabolism a kickstart. And one thing that going low carb does for a long time is it turns that down, all right? And that's why we want to hit this refeed day, again, once every 2 weeks. As far as macronutrient sources go, we flip that again. Starchy carbs are what we're looking at. So rice, potatoes, pasta, pretty much the same thing for protein. And then fats are very minimal. So if you're going to have any fat at all, look to get it from some of these better fat sources. And so our flexible meal template, again, for low carb days is very similar to our beginner nutrition program. You have we provided a shopping list that allows you to plug in things from categories that we create. Okay, and that could be anything. A protein could be beef, it could be chicken, it could be fish, whatever appeals to you, as long as it kind of fits what we categorize. 6 to 8 ounces, for example, for a male of a meat or or beans or what have you, would be considered one serving of protein. And then, we have vegetables with that as well. That could really be anything, and, the sky's the limit there. We don't necessarily have to limit those. It's just try to not stuff your face to the point to where you're uncomfortably full. Mid-morning and afternoon snacks, very minimal, what we call quick snacks, which we'll go over. Basically, breakfast, lunch, and dinner are going to be the same thing. Whereas for our refeed day, our breakfast is going to consist of 1 protein and 2 to 3 starchy carbs. Our post-workout meal, about the same thing. Our dinner, about the same thing. Generally, I try not to snack on those days just because you're going to be eating a lot of stuff. So we want to be able to get them in our major meals. So as far as what that looks like, for example, the protein portion for women would be 4 to 6 ounces equals 1 serving, whereas for males, 6 to 8 ounces equals 1 serving. And we've created a couple examples of what you could potentially eat here, but what I would recommend is pick 2 to 3 things that you like, and buy those. It could really be anything within reason. For vegetables, this is a category that is wide open. You can really have as much as you want. Again, just keep in mind that, you don't want to be uncomfortably full. Fruit, again, the same thing. 1 medium fruit or 1 cup would be what we would consider a serving. Starchy carbs, again, 1 cup or 1 or medium large potato. And really, this is anything that are grains, rice, potatoes, and pasta. So red potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, brown rice, white rice, oatmeal, couscous, wheat flour, noodles. You could have donuts if you really wanted to, but just keep in mind that keep it within reason. Don't undo all the good work that you did. So while you do want to overfeed, just make sure that that is kept in check to some degree. And with quick snacks, these are just things that we have found that are quickly accessible. They're things that that don't require much preparation, that you can make pretty quick. So things like beef jerky, pork rinds, cottage cheese, lunch meat slices, cheese cubes, protein shakes, etc., are things that can be consumed pretty quickly, and at a job, at school, what have you. Now, the last thing that I'm going to show you is our FitClick diet, okay? Because this is something that we've created online for you. Okay, you'll get a link to this in our Model Fit program guide, but what's going to happen is when you click on the link, okay, it's going to bring me to a summary of the diet, kind of what it is, and it's proportioned for males and females, so pick your sex. All you do is click on Use the Diet, and you can start on a predefined date. So if you're starting today, you click today, tomorrow. Other than that, you would click other and you find that date. And then it's just going to bring it up. Okay, and it'll show you, we've given you, a listing of what to eat here. You can click on grocery list to bring up a grocery list. You can also click on print, which will bring up a listing of the recipes and the foods for that day as well. So if you want to go to the grocery store and shop for 3 days, you can do that. The last thing to look at is these foods here. You can simply replace them by clicking on the food. I'll actually bring up a description of the food. I'll go back here by clicking on this icon, which is so you can either delete the food or swap the food. Okay, and it'll bring up various choices. Just try to swap like for like, and the program will help you with that. And put that in. So that way you can customize your diet based upon, whether you're maybe you're gluten intolerant or there's some things in here that you don't necessarily like. You can make changes to that. And I would just recommend doing that on a weekly basis. Go through that, print out your grocery list for the week, do your shopping, and that is our overview.